Justin Timberlake's playing in this?
No, Justin Thomas.
Oh.
Ugh, Justin Timberlake would be better.
At the top of next hour, the group of McElroy, Rahm, and Koepka will be teeing off. At 12:55, Thomas, Fowler, and Spieth will be teeing off. And you can follow, should be finishing up anytime right now, Johnson, my boy Bryson DeChambeau, Justin Rose played, and Phil and Kevin Na and Gary Woodland teed off roughly around 8 o'clock this morning. So there are no players are expected to be practice social distancing. There are no fans in attendance. You can watch this on the Golf Channel starting at 3 o'clock today. So I've got like 5 different things in DraftKings lineups.
Wow, go big or go home, Jay.
I know.
Proud of you.
3 out of the 5 were 10-cent leagues.
Okay, no, I'm not proud.
Come on. I don't know what I'm doing. My team the one I did is doing much better, but we'll follow some of that. We talked to Mike from Hidden Hills yesterday. He helped us put in a team for DraftKings as well. You're not in that fantasy league, are you, T-Ray?
No.
This year. I guess it kind of, COVID kind of killed the
radio star?
Yeah, I didn't do anything fun.
You are always eating every time you're in here.
Yeah, what do you have there?
He brought in a bag of Tostitos and a jar of salsa yesterday.
And
do you grill those jalapenos on your own?
A raw jalapeno.
Do you grill that on your own?
They're delicious.
Just a Firehouse sub, baby. You ever had one?
No.
They're good.
Pretty
Where
delicious.
are they at?
Jersey subs is good
5
too.
points.
5 points.
I didn't know.
Do you know Waterloo has a 6 points? Went to college there for a lot of years. I didn't know that, but then again,
I had to show Jay.
Yeah.
Do you know that every
Do
woman
you
has
grow
7
your own
points?
jalapeno?
My neighbor does.
And then he just gives them to you?
No, I just sneak over and take one every
That's
morning.
not very nice.
No, he gives them to me.
No, that's nice of him. Okay, yesterday NASCAR announced that it will ban the Confederate flag from its events and properties. The move comes amid a renewed push to ban Confederate monuments and iconography in various U.S. institutions as protests against police brutality and racial inequality have swept across the country. Bubba Wallace, the circuit's only black driver, had been pushing for the change. No one should feel uncomfortable when they come to a NASCAR race, he told CNN's Don Lemon on Monday. So it starts with the Confederate flag. Let's get them out of here.
I saw that this morning on the news.
Yep.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I don't care.
I don't have a problem either.
Yeah, whatever.
How many
Should
African
have
Americans?
outlawed that a long time ago because
Well,
it's
I
a
don't-
sign of anti-Americanism.
Yeah, it's almost like a Nazi flag.
Yeah.
How many
Pretty damn
African
close.
How many
It's a-
African Americans
well-
have raced in NASCAR in the past? Is there?
He's the first, isn't he? Full-time
No, he's the only one right
driver.
now.
Yeah.
I don't really. I don't. I couldn't tell you how many dudes raced in NASCAR, let alone black dudes.
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
couldn't name 5 white guys. I don't know.
No,
Driving
I
a
don't.
car is
The only
not-
thing I worry about, to be honest with you, I think it's a good move. The only thing I worry about is reruns of Dukes of Hazzard. That's not a lie. I'm serious.
Well, it's gonna. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Because they have the Confederate
General
flag on
Lee.
top of the General Lee. Like
The proud General Lee.
I mean, I understand, but I mean, it's a movie.
it's a television show,
It's also
and
a
they'll have
movie.
reruns. No,
See, the fact that she only thought it was a movie.
yeah.
I'm younger than you, old
Oh
man.
my god.
Daisy Duke.
Jessica Simpson.
That's not Jessica Simpson.
Oh my god, Leah, leave the room.
That's-
She's
No.
You gotta leave the room.
I
she's
will.
kind of lovely. in that movie.
well, somebody does have a problem with this.
Catherine Bach. First of all.
Somebody
Okay.
does have a problem with this.
With the flag.
NASCAR that they're taking this off, that they're banning it.
Whoever it is, this is a bad stance.
Somebody always
NASCAR
has a
driver
problem.
Ray Ciccarelli?
Cicerelli.
Thank you.
Huh. Italiano.
Put on his Facebook post, well, it's been a fun ride and a dream come true. But if this is the direction NASCAR is headed, we will not participate after the 2020 season is over. I don't believe in kneeling during the anthem, nor taking people's rights to fly whatever flag they love. I could care less about the Confederate flag, but there are people that do, and it doesn't make them a racist. All you're doing is effing one group to cater to another, and I ain't spend the money we are to participate in any political BS, so everything is for sale. He is a part-time competitor in the NASCAR Gander RV and Outdoor Truck Series. He drives the number 49 truck. Through 18 races over the span of 3 years, he has one top 10 finish. No wins, no
So he
poles.
won't be missed.
Not really.
Bye.
But, I mean, it's...
Who cares?
I think he's just going to be a footnote in the...
Somebody's
not
always
even that, a footnote.
offended
Maybe,
by everything.
Maybe just a slight highlight in the... when the story is told.
The only person I really care about footnoting is now my new arch nemesis, Jay, Seth Meyers.
Yeah.
Footnote. Good thing about his show, he's got no audience. So he just sounds dumber than he already is.
Seth Meyers?
Yeah.
How many fist fights do you think that guy's been in his life?
0.
One with his
Zero.
brother.
He reminds me of the guy who would.
He's probably been in a cat fight.
He reminds me of the kid on the playground
He's a
that
P-word.
wanted to be the high school varsity quarterback, but knew he had no chance and hated the high school varsity quarterback with all of his power. And so when the playground aide, the recess aide would come out, he'd stand behind the recess aide and tell the big bully or the big high school quarterback, F you, I hate you, F you, I hate you, and stick his tongue out.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I feel like every time I watch his show.
I caught it for a minute last night, and I'm like, this guy is a complete a-hole. And I hope someone throws poop at his face.
Poop.
Well, he needs to write a thank you note to Donald Trump, because if it weren't for Trump, he wouldn't have a show.
Hey, yo.
That's all he does.
Oh, yeah, he's just...
Well, he's not the only one. I mean,
But he's just anti-anything. If you...
Saturday Night Live's been making the beginning of their before their opening monologue for this for 4 years. So, I mean, he's not the only one.
But he does it way more. Like if you watch Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel, they don't go. I mean, 99% of what Seth Meyers talks about is anti-Donald Trump.
He's not as bad as that other guy. Like
It's
on,
more that the problem.
Colbert. He's not as bad as Colbert.
He just
Colbert's
went to anti-Republican all of a sudden, and I'm like, really? Yeah. Why don't you stick it in your your little
Jeez.
P-word
yeah.
Jeez.
things I can't say?
Jeez.
Sticking his tongue out from behind the recess aid.
Like,
Now I can do it.
he does what he says we shouldn't do. He lumps everybody into one group and says, "Oh, everybody's like this." Oh, okay, you're cool.
Exactly.
You guys are feisty.
So, speaking of golf and Ben Hogan, 70 years ago today, Ben Hogan won the U.S. Open at Merion Golf Club, just outside of Philadelphia, also known for Lower Merion, where Kobe Bryant went to high school. He won an 18-hole playoff win over fellow Americans Lloyd Mangrum and George Fazio. Why this is important it was because just 16 months earlier, Hogan had nearly died in a car accident that doctors believe would be career-ending at best. Instead, he won 6 of his 9 career majors after the wreck.
I think his greatest accomplishment was he had that video game named after him, Hogan's Alley, for Nintendo, the shooter game. Remember?
I thought they named Hogan's Heroes after him.
No,
Did we
Hogan's
just-
Alley is
was that
named.
deja vu?
Hogan's
What just
Alley
happened?
is where they're playing golf today. It's called after them. And then also, 23 years ago today is the anniversary of Michael Jordan's legendary flu game, which now we know as the food poisoning game. Michael Jordan played through a sickness to lead the Bulls to a 90-88 win over the Jazz in Game 5 of the NBA Finals 23 years ago today.
You know what we should do?
What?
We should do a list of all the best games that athletes played with some kind of illness or broken appendage.
Majority of them, you can make a bigger list of people that sat out games because of a weird situation.
That too.
Like there's a
We could
baseball player
mirror that.
who burned himself on a tanning bed.
John Riggins played a Super Bowl after the all-night flu and ran for
Mickey
crazy.
Mantle played like 3/4 of his season with the brown bottle flu.
so
For
So did
years.
Babe Ruth.
So
For
did Babe
years,
Ruth.
for years.
Brett Favre played with a broken thumb, didn't he?
I pitched a game drunk in high school.
Vita Blue, he was on acid. He
No,
threw a
that-
no-hitter on acid.
That was Doc Ellis.
I thought it was Vita Blue.
Nope, Doc Ellis,
Okay.
1971.
Why would you do that?
Because back in the 70s, it was like taking vitamins. Everybody did it.
No.
Would really help you focus. I think.
No, it wouldn't.
And not only was he on acid, Jay, he woke up in the hotel room in Pirates were playing in San Diego. They played against the Padres in 1971. Padres had only been a team for 2 years. They were dismal, but still. He woke up that day an hour before the game and forgot he was supposed to be the starting pitcher.
Whoops.
And he was tripping acid. So
Who were the Olympic runners that got their shoes stolen?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that story? Jimmy, do you?
that got their shoes stolen?
Their shoes were stolen out of their hotel room, and he won. He had to borrow somebody else's shoes that were like a size and a half too big, and he still won.
I remember the girl that ran barefoot. I forget her name, though, in the Olympics.
Zola Bud.
Yes, that's right. But I don't remember the one about the shoes being stolen.
And then
Yeah.
finally on June 11th, Diana Taurasi, Joe Montana, Maya Moore, and Vince Lombardi all share this birthday. June 11th is the day.
June 11th.
Bomber, go ahead and give a
Yes.
read.
Done Right TV and Security Solutions is proud to be your Dish premier local retailer. Use Dish's voice remote to serve live TV over 80 6,000 on-demand titles and Netflix at the same time. Done Right has all the products you need to turn your home into a smart home. Not only do they have state-of-the-art products, they even have their own installation experts for TV mounts, wireless networks, home theaters, security systems, and more. Call 866-84-RIGHT today to get the package that is right for you. Netflix streaming membership required. Voice remote requires internet-connected Hopper. Restrictions do apply. Once again, that's Done Right TV and Security Solutions at 866-84-RIGHT.
You like that? You like that?
Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
Hey, this is Goose, PA announcer for the Quad City Storm, and you're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
We will get our momentum back. Our business is back, our smiles back, ourselves back. Because that's what this community does. At First Midwest Bank, we want to thank our colleagues for doing everything they can to help our clients and our communities get through this. Because we are all in this together. And together, we will get our momentum back. First Midwest Bank. Visit firstmidwest.com. Member FDIC.
A hailstorm is never good news for your home, especially your roof. Recent ping pong to golf ball sized hail hit the Quad Cities. This type of hail can cause catastrophic damage to your home's exterior. Even new roofs can be affected. Don't wait. Call All Major Restoration today. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, All Major will walk you through the entire process, from filing an insurance claim through construction. Call the experts at All Major Restoration for your free storm damage inspection. 563-322-0060. Se habla español.
Sí, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
You remember when we were watching those Ozarks videos of too many people in a pool and we got mad at the partiers? And then you see 1 million people sitting in the street way too close together. Like we just forgot about the apocalypse and social distancing. And you realize that we're in the middle of one sickness and we're sitting here protesting another. And LeBron James is asking on Twitter, why doesn't America love us too? And he's only one of the most beloved black men ever. And Lord knows, too many black people recognize the feeling of being suffocated by America's armed authority. So, Roger Goodell, you could save your empty BS statement on behalf of the NFL. Your league already made its statement, dude. You've been making it for more than 3 years. You're not allowed to be the first voice to the public relations when you've been the last one to the relations.
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad Cities Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
Ace Muffler Clinic has been serving the Quad Cities area for over 60 years. There's a reason why our customers continue to trust us with their vehicles. We can fix almost anything. We can fix your muffler, tune your brakes, change your oil, change your tires, replace your battery, customize your exhaust, tune your engine, repair your suspension, replace your radiator and your water pump. Align your automobile, refill your transmission fluid, and change your filters. And we believe in doing all those things right the first time. For fast, friendly service, visit Ace Muffler Clinic at 4th Ave and 15th Street in Rock Island.
With the loss of a loved one, planning a fitting service can be a real challenge. At Whelan Presley Funeral Homes and Crematory, with our personalized service and attention to detail, you can be confident the service will be everything you wished for. We've been serving families in our area for generations. We would be privileged to serve yours too. Whelan Presley Funeral Homes and Crematory, Rock Island, Milan, Reynolds, and the Knox Chapel.
Sí, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
If you want to have black friends, go to where there are black people and spend time there. Whether it's a black club or a black restaurant or a black party or a black, just anything. Even what I call the black neighborhood of your job. There's usually, most jobs have a black neighborhood. It's usually not the executive suite. And hang out there. At first, they'll kind of ignore you. Then they'll be cool to you. Then they'll start calling you white boy blank, whatever your first name is. And then they'll just call you whatever your name is, Steve, Bob, whatever your name is.
So that's the indoctrination process? That's
it goes from like, we don't care about you, you're a little weird, why are you coming here? All right, he's going to keep coming here. And then they'll finally go, hey, where's white boy Jeff, or whatever.
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad Cities Sports Leader, ESPN 1170. When you're listening to the best sports talk, you know you found your sports leader. ESPN 1170 AM.
Hey, Hasslers, we're back. It's another day here in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Dunrice Satellite and Dish.
Where's your energy?
I don't know.
It's
Are
like
people
yeah,
texting you and taking your focus off of what we're doing here?
No, not at all.
Is it me? Are you distracted?
Yeah, it was the whole Daisy Duke
by my
thing.
beauty.
You screwed everything up. Not
It's the Korean baseball
I got a
stadium.
question for you about Daisy Duke. Who was the original actress that played Daisy Duke?
He knows.
I said it, Catherine Bach.
Catherine Bach. In her prime, and in Jessica Simpson's prime, and you're single. We'll just say you're single. You get to go on a date with either Bach or Simpson. Who do you pick?
Simpson's an idiot. Bach all day, and I'm a girl. But
You don't even know who she is.
Yes, I do. I've seen. Come on, I know exactly who she is. She's got the feathered hair. It's wavy. It's not blonde. Right? Am I right?
Dude,
they named
Thank
it
you.
Brand of shorts after her.
Okay, great, fantastic. But Jessica Simpson's too dumb. I would never, ever.
Jessica Simpson in that movie was donut grease. She was so hot.
She was, but she also had an eating disorder and came out about it that they starved her for
And then
months.
didn't she gain like 50 pounds right after the movie?
Because
Yeah.
exactly.
Do you know at her heaviest, she was only 120 pounds.
Yeah, but she's like 5 foot tall.
She's real short.
So she's not. She was never fat.
You guys know so much about
She
this
was
stuff.
beefy. I mean, she still looked good. I think women of all sizes are gorgeous. Just well, sir, yeah. So, I mean, once it surpasses healthy,
Stocking on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread said Catherine Bach by a country mile and a half.
what's a country mile
I
stocking?
don't know, but it's fine. It seems like a lot.
It's as far as Jay can throw a baseball.
That's it. I cannot throw a baseball very far. That's a bad thing. No, it's I did. He and Issa said that they've already taken the Confederate flag off the general.
They
League.
did. I remember when that happened.
How do they do? How do they go back and do they go to old episodes?
They
and,
edited it. Yeah, they edited it out. That was years ago.
Come on.
It was. Remember when the Confederate flag
in
was
the movie,
the big
in the actual
controversy?
movie, when they were driving in downtown Atlanta, remember they had to go up there to try to get something fixed or whatever. If you watched the movie,
Don't get me started on this.
Everybody's like flipping off, yelling at them because they had the flag on top of the car, and like Johnny Knoxville. And
that's
couldn't
that's
figure
good
it out.
that they did that.
Yeah, they kind of made fun of it.
I've told you this before. I can't shake this. If you watch the pilot of The Dukes of Hazzard, it's the most absurd thing you've ever seen. The reason that what they do is they go to Atlanta. They leave Hazard County because Daisy gets duped out of $50 to make a recording. She's gonna make a single. She's gonna create a record, and they don't. They dupe her out of it. She doesn't get the record out of it. So the Duke boys, in return to justify what has happened, they shoot an arrow of dynamite.
That's right.
At the recording thing and blow it up. Over $50. And hey, 5-6-year-old me was like, absolutely.
That's what you do.
Yeah, that's right. And then I'm like,
Just a good old boy, Jay.
sing it, Waylon.
Never mean no harm.
Then they go to commercial, and Waylon's like, I don't know if the Duke boys are going to get out of this one. I'm like, I don't think so, Waylon.
The old Dukes of Hazzard they made that freeze frame famous.
Yeah.
Because before every commercial, you'd hear the music start, the little slight music, and then you see the frame freeze. What's going to happen next? Then you had to wait 2 minutes for the commercial.
That's what Waylon would do. He'd be like, I don't know if the Duke boys are going to get out of this one. And I'm like, I know. Roscoe's right on their tail.
Oh, look at Daisy and them shorts, y'all. It must be hotter than a well digger's butt up there.
Yep. Yeah, they'd always have those southern.
What have we become?
So in studio right here, we got Uncle Jesse, Bo and Luke Duke, and Daisy Duke.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, I'm not Daisy Duke.
Because
you're
Stifler,
totally Daisy.
because Stifler played.
Jay Stifler.
Yes, we got Stiff. Mm-hmm. I'll be the other Duke boy, or I can be Uncle Jesse. Which
I got the beard, man. I'll go.
You're the
Uncle
villain.
Jesse.
I did not care for when the cousins came in.
As long as
That
I'm
was
not
over
crazy
money.
Cooter.
Wasn't that just one season?
Yeah, it was over money.
Yeah.
Tom Wolpett and what's the other one? John Schneider.
Wolpett?
Wolpat, yeah.
Wolpat.
Tom Wolpat.
Who are the crazy cousins?
I forget. Larry and the other brother Larry. I don't know. I have no idea.
I love that show.
I forget. Speaking of things like that, yesterday the Carolina Panthers moved a statue of disgraced former owner Jerry Richardson from outside of their stadium. Basically, I mean, if you know the story, that's probably something that they should have done a while ago. The Red Sox released a statement acknowledging that they received several complaints regarding racial slurs at Fenway Park just last year. Torrey Hunter talked about that a little bit.
That reminds me of that stupid Boston Sam Adams commercial. Your cousin from Boston? Like, if anybody really had a cousin from Boston, you'd either kick his ass or never invite him anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you that. God, I hate that. There's one accent I hate. It's probably that.
Give me my you say khakis?
The Pepperidge Farm.
It's car keys. Khakis.
I've been there, done that like twice.
Well, so then you don't like Marky Mark.
Well, I do, but I'm just saying the
And
whole,
Matt Damon and Ben Affleck
shtick,
and-
the whole shtick of it, of him being a dumb cousin. I don't like that.
Although never very popular, the MLB draft had day one last night. Much different from it's been before because there's 40 rounds of first-year player in the first-year player draft. This event is just 5 rounds. First round was last night. Rounds 2 through 5 is coming tonight. The first overall pick was for the Detroit Tigers. It was Spencer Torkelson. He played first base at Arizona State, but they drafted him as a third baseman. Apparently, they're going to try him at third base before either moving him to first base or even maybe right field or left field. He was 4 home runs shy of breaking Bob Horner's Arizona State career record home runs when the COVID came.
You mean Bonds didn't have that?
No, Bonds didn't. He's 5th, I think, on the list.
Bob Horner.
Bob Horner.
You know, he had 4 home runs in one game.
Yes, opening day.
Yeah.
Look at you guys.
He led all of Division I as a freshman in home runs. So the other thing about this is that for the first time in history, the first 7 picks of the draft were college players. The previous record was 5 straight college players to start a draft. It happened twice, once in 1992 and once in 2018.
College flavored is my favorite.
Flavored players.
She loves some college.
None of those 7 picks were drafted earlier than the 31st round when they were drafted out of high school 3 years ago. Torkelson was one of 2 players that went undrafted after his high school days. Chicago Cubs took hometown player Ed Howard, considered the best true shortstop available. He was the Gatorade Illinois Player of the Year. He was the number 16th pick overall.
And you went to the Cubbies?
You went to the Cubs.
It's a great story. I watched the video of him getting drafted. You know, you grew up in your hometown.
Mount Carmel, you went to school.
And you see your favorite team every day growing up as a kid, and then they draft you. And he was so happy, and his parents and family were so happy. I hope the kid becomes a star.
Aw, you're so sweet, Jimmy.
I know.
Oh my
And he's humble, too.
And humble. Yeah.
Did you follow any of this, Jimmy, at the draft?
I looked at the top 10 picks. I was, again, I'm 48, but I still, every night, I stay by the phone for the draft, and it's just not going to happen for me. I've come to that conclusion, but, waiting for the phone call to let me know that I can play pro ball.
I want to let you know, as your agent, I was working hard last night over this, but
see these young kids get the chance. I can live vicariously through that, I think, the rest of my life, to see these kids when they hear their name called, to put that hat on and know they're going to get paid to play the best game in the world. It's great.
Twins took a first baseman from North Carolina. I was okay with that pick.
Can you name the last Twins hometown boy to be a star?
Yeah, sideburns.
Joe Mauer.
That's right.
Yeah.
The franchise.
Love it.
The face of the franchise. Future Hall of Famer. Is Joe Mauer Hall of Famer?
He got in some rough water at the end of his career. He left catching and became a first baseman. His numbers dropped. He never got 3,000 hits. But as a catcher, he won 3 batting titles.
3.
Now, somebody told me, teacher I taught with, Jay Ryan at Sudlow. He's from Minnesota, loves Minnesota sports. And not a lot of people know this, and maybe it's not true at all, but remember when his numbers started to fall off the last 5 years of his career?
Yeah.
He said that Joe Mauer has Parkinson's disease.
Oh.
And it was coming on. Now, he heard that from a guy who heard it from a guy, but if you looked at the way he was...
from a guy who...
Yes. You hit that high note very well.
Thank you.
So, I mean, Joe Mauer, is he a Hall of Famer? I don't know. What do you think?
It's a good debate. The only other catcher that has 3 batting titles is Johnny Bench, and he's a Hall of Famer. He's an MVP and a Rookie of the Year.
He's also something that Joe Mauer is not.
I also blame the twins that he had, too, that his wife had.
What is Joe Mauer not?
That adds a lot.
He's a 2-time World Series champion. Johnny Bench is.
Yeah.
I was thinking, Stocking said that he's borderline for Hall of Fame.
Joe Mauer?
Yep.
I think so, yeah. I mean, I love the guy.
It's an argument is what it is.
Okay.
If he had 3,000 hits, it would
Arguments are my favorite.
solidify that he was. That's still...
Easer is saying he barely got 2,000. Still led the league in batting average 2 years. 3 years.
As a catcher.
That's hard
to do. It's hard to do.
Yeah, you're right. That is hard to do.
All right, Jimmy. Well, Ed Howard is an African American. And why is it that our numbers for African Americans are so low in the Major League Baseball? We have players from the Dominican, Latin America, but we don't really have that many African Americans playing the game of baseball.
Compared to 50 years ago. I think the number, I could be wrong on the numbers.
So 50 years ago, there was a lot more African Americans.
I think it was about 15%. I could be wrong on these numbers. I read an article on it. It was interesting. And I don't want to ruffle any feathers here. I'm so happy for this kid in Chicago. I mean, this kid's living a dream. And I would love for every American to grow up playing baseball, love baseball, and understand what makes that sport so great. But I think the number is down to 5% of Major League Baseball players are African American.
Why do you think that is?
Well, the people that I listened to on the article was because it's an expensive sport to play.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like hockey.
Yeah.
Baseball, the equipment you have to purchase.
Sure.
And unfortunately, a lot of African American kids are not wealthy. They're living in poor neighborhoods, and so they don't have that money. When I heard that, I thought to myself, well, hold on a second. That doesn't make sense, because if you go to Central America, south of the border, with all these extremely poor countries, these players are playing baseball, and they're the best in the world. I mean, you could argue that Cuba puts out the best baseball players in the world, and they're dirt poor. Why?
Sosa was from
why is it?
Dominican Republic.
Well,
not Cuba.
It's because these kids aren't
from an impoverished country.
These kids aren't buying $100 cleats. They're not buying $300 bats. They're playing baseball in bare feet with broomsticks and goat stomachs as gloves. And that just makes you better, because you have to adapt. So why are these kids able to play ball and they're poor? I came to this conclusion, and I hate it. I wish it was different, but baseball is a very slow sport.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason for that, because it's a very deep sport.
It's a skilled sport.
You need 15 to 20 seconds between every pitch as an outfielder to figure out where am I going to go with the ball, or with as a middle infielder, who's going to take the bag. It's a deep sport. You can go to the playground and you can watch a basketball game and you can learn the whole sport in 10 minutes. Okay? Football, it's a little deeper, but still, you can understand I got to run and not get tackled.
Football was the hardest for me to learn. I played softball, so baseball
as an athlete out on the field, you can watch it for 10 minutes and realize I get the ball, I run, I don't get tackled.
Well, sure.
You understand that.
Sure.
Whistle blows, plays over. Baseball, however, is such a deep sport that you cannot learn it and love it and appreciate it unless you have a father figure to raise you and teach you and show you. It's essential. It's essential. You go down to Central and South America, and there's a village of men who've played the sport and love the kids. I mean, they teach the kids, they show the kids how to play it. And unfortunately, and I wish it wasn't this way, a lot of African American kids, there's not a father figure in their life. So to understand this slow, detailed sport and learn an appreciation for it, it's just not happening. And it's unfortunate, because we're missing out on some of the best ball players I think we could have. And this kid in Chicago, it's a great story. I love it. And I hope this kid becomes a star. Hope he becomes the next Michael Jordan.
I think maybe there might be some of that too, Jimmy, along with the fact that, African American kids, they're heroes of growing up playing basketball or football.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a lot more of the summer league basketball stuff going on as well. I think that's a huge part of it.
But that started after the 1960s. Prior to the 1960s, kids growing up, African American kids, it was Willie Mays, it was Hank Aaron, it was Ernie Banks.
Well, inner cities have basketball courts. They don't have baseball diamonds. That's another part of it, too.
They used to have things called sandlots.
Well, yeah, they don't have those anymore. They get paved over their parking lots now.
Yep. Basketball takes up less space, I guess. I don't know. What do you think, Jay?
I think it's much easier that you can play 1-on-1, 3-on-3, 5-on-5 than you can get 18 kids to play a game.
Yeah, that's true too.
In the neighborhood.
We used to play 1-on-1 stickball.
Well, yeah, you could do that. And you can get kids together and you can play slugger. There's all kinds of things that you can do. But someone's got to pass it down. It is a matter of
basketballs don't break windows as much in the neighborhood either.
That's true too.
I mean, there's a lot of things, but yeah, I mean, I feel what you're saying, Jimmy. There is
it's an accumulation of all of the above.
Yeah, user is right. Baseball's a game of failure. Kids don't like. Kids don't like to fail 7 out of 10 times. All right, there's also another problem that we have here, and I'll just bring up just my own example of trying to pass the game on down to my son. My son looks at striking out as a complete failure, and he doesn't understand why he just can't get up there and do it again. He doesn't have to wait his turn because he's used to video games that wherever he fails at, if say like he doesn't pass a level, he just starts off pretty much where his turn was eliminated, his guy died, is whatever you want to say it, however you want to say it. Whereas, at the most, Super Mario, and again, I don't want to do it back in our day type of thing, but when you started Super Mario Brothers, you had 3 lives. That was it.
Or contrary, you got 30 if you knew the code.
Well, you know the code.
Up, down, left, right, BA, select start.
BA, yes, select start. People say start, and it's like, no, there's select in there.
A lot of times they just go to like if he plays like Lego Batman, it's wherever the Lego guy explodes and he just starts back up again. He doesn't have to start. Do you know what I'm saying? So he looks at it and he's like, I'm not good at the sport, which he doesn't understand. It's a process to remind him that, hey, you're only as good as your next at bat. Let's keep going. Let's keep, stay after it. Stay focused. It's a process. It's tough to do. It's tough to do. Even majority of these girls that I have at 10U, I've had for 4 or 5 years now, and they still get upset over it. But it's not, over things. We have a girl who, she can bunt like no other. It's almost an automatic single. But if she doesn't get a hit when she swings away, she's upset because she wants to get on every time. Well, let it go.
Well, that's
what I'm
good,
saying?
though. That's the competitive spirit.
I understand the competitive side of it, but I'm just saying that I think it might be easier to learn how to do a layup or shoot a 3-pointer. I mean, you can shoot from far away. No one's guarding you.
There's a different athletic ability for baseball players and basketball players. Do you know what I mean? I think more people have the ability to play baseball and softball than people who have the ability to play basketball. I played basketball all through like elementary school. I was awful, like literally the worst. I don't have ups. My daughter played. I coached her team. She was awful, but she can throw a ball like a grown man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, I think I could be a rec league all-star in basketball faster than I could be ISC or all tournament team softball player.
See, I disagree. I'm good at softball, and I'm the worst basketball player.
The one thing that will always amaze me in basketball, and to this day, and I've always said it, is the alley-oop. I don't know how they know where to put the ball,
really?
And I don't know how they know that guy's going to jump out of the gym like that. That is incredible to me every single time.
We talked about this on a previous show, I believe, and I'll go to my grave saying that baseball players are the best athletes in the world because it takes such.
That's risky.
It takes 20 years.
You ever seen a fat hockey player?
Hockey's an anomaly because I did.
Ever seen a fat soccer player?
Hold on, I talked to a hockey player once, and he said, "Let me tell you something about hockey. You put Mike Tyson on ice skates and have me box him, I'll knock the crap out of him.
Yeah.
You put Michael Jordan on ice skates and have me play basketball against him, I'll beat him. You take, and so on, because it's you wear ice skates. Yes, these guys are great athletes. Every one of these sports is a great athlete. Here's my point. Give me, in your opinion, the best all-around baseball player right now.
Ooh.
Mike Trout?
Yes. No. Javi Baez, hands down.
Okay,
yeah,
that's
Javier
fine.
Baez. I agree.
Okay.
Athletic ability, he will run circles around Mike Trout.
He's insane.
I'm sorry.
Then let's go with
athletic ability. The guy can do things with his body.
Yeah.
Contort.
Yes, he can.
Is Trout a better hitter? I'll give you that. But
it doesn't
Javi
matter.
Baez
Either
is
one.
hands down overall.
Either one will work.
Past him.
We got Javi Baez. Give me the best basketball player right now.
It's probably LeBron.
Let's take LeBron.
Or Kawhi.
Give me the best football player, all-around football player right now.
Patrick Mahomes.
No, I don't.
Tyreek Hill.
I don't want Patrick Mahomes, and here's why: because that screws the stat. He played baseball in college. He's a great athlete.
No, it's not Mahomes anyway.
Tyreek Hill.
Okay, let's take.
Not Tyreek Hill.
Well, I disagree with you
Hopkins.
because
You are a crack.
Denard Hopkins.
All right, let's take Gerard Hopkins. Now, here's the game. We're going to take all three of these: Baez, LeBron James, and Hopkins, and we're going to let them play one set for every single sport. Who has a better chance at making a three-pointer or catching a ball across the line or getting a base hit off a 100-mile-per-hour fastball? Javi Baez has a better chance of doing all three than any one of those guys. Because those guys couldn't even know. You ever seen a guy who hasn't played baseball his whole life swing a bat?
No baseball for LeBron. Can play football, though.
And he's a great athlete. Don't get me wrong, LeBron.
Yeah.
But baseball is such a fine-tuned athletic sport. And you still have to run. You still have to be fast. You have to jump. You have to have all the athletic skill. But Javi Baez is going to have a better chance at going into an NBA game, getting a pass and making a three-pointer, or going across the middle and catching a pass from a quarterback than any other guy is going to have a chance at getting a base hit in the bottom of the ninth from a 100-mile-per-hour fastball.
I could see him being good at football,
the
but
best
not
athlete
basketball.
in football is the Lamar, or quarterback for the Ravens.
Yeah, Jackson.
Yeah.
Now, Patrick Mahomes, that skews my stats because
my
he
baby.
played shortstop at Texas Tech. That guy,
I didn't know
that guy
that.
might be able to take a bat and get a hit because he's played that sport for his whole life. And baseball, the skills necessary for baseball, the fine-tuned hand-eye coordination, it easily transfers over to releasing a basketball or catching a football, where the skills you learn in football and basketball do not translate to hitting a little round ball with a little round bat coming at 100 miles per hour.
But doesn't it mean, in stocking and kind of piggybacking what he said, but does it outside of a slower game and hard to do, isn't it something that basketball has evolved and that it has become more on TV more than it was, and it became more the forefront of another sport? I mean,
Thanks
when
to
Larry
Michael
Bird,
Jordan.
like I think it's in the what he did a triple-double in the '86 finals against Houston, but I think there's another one where he hit a three-pointer. They're down by like 2, and they make it seem like he hit a buzzer beater. It was just a three-pointer, like because when they've just started adapting it in the NBA, like you just wouldn't throw up 27-footers in the NBA. And now,
What was the first year the three-pointer came out?
Stocking can throw that up there on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread, but it's. I just think maybe it's gotten to the forefront. And I still say to this day, I think when we went through best jobs to have, or you could pick a job, I picked being the commissioner of the NBA because I think they're in the forefront of everything. And they're the ones that constantly evolving the game, whereas baseball, it's still, you have that school of thought like, that's not the baseball way. That's not the way we do things. And it's always that way, no matter what's going on. And that's what we're at right now, too.
Easy Race said, put all those guys in a race car, they couldn't turn a lap. Now, here's my argument with that. I think that race car drivers are skilled. I don't think it's athleticism. I don't think driving a car is athleticism. I think that it is a skill.
It is a skill, but I guarantee you, if you took a baseball player, gave him 6 months to learn how to get in a car, push the pedal, and turn the wheel, and you took a NASCAR racer and gave him 6 months in the batting cage, still, he ain't going to touch a baseball.
No
it's
offense.
Like, it's like
I
golf,
don't want to sit in my
though.
pee.
Golf is a skill as well. You don't have to be a complete athlete to play golf. You just have to be able to hone in the skill. You know what I'm saying?
Golf is hard.
It's very hard.
But the ball's not moving. The ball's not moving, and the head of the golf club is
if
flat.
any of these guys drive a car, they can do a lot.
It's nothing like baseball. Baseball is the
It's
most...
driving a car.
It's a skill, it's not a sport. I mean, it's a
I'm
sport.
pretty damn good at driving a car.
But it's not.
It's a privilege, not a right. That's what my mom told me.
Jay,
What, driving a car?
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you
that's
this. I'm
true,
pretty
too.
damn good at driving a car.
Your mom's
I think
right.
I can-
This whole conversation started with failing 70% of the time, and that's hitting a baseball. And that's why I say hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do in sport, because
easy
you only succeed 30% of the time. That might be why baseball players growing up are the biggest players when they go out to the clubs. Because
What are you trying to say?
Because they know that they're going to succeed maybe 30% of the time, so they're not afraid to fail. They're not afraid to
you only miss the chances you don't take.
Am I right,
there,
Jay?
Jimmy?
That's a Michael Jordan quote, but that's pretty good.
How many people here have driven
pretty good.
I-5 during rush hour traffic at 80-some miles an hour? I have.
You talking about NASCAR racers?
I'm talking about I-5, Interstate 5 in California.
In California.
And I got pulled over. That's why I know how fast I was going, and I know how many cars I passed in a quarter mile because the cop was very upset with me.
It's the turning of the.
And I had no NASCAR
That's
training.
scary.
I'm just saying.
I don't even like roundabouts when I'm going 40 miles an hour.
There's a lot. You
I'm
stay
not
away
built
from my
for it.
neighborhood, by the way. I don't. You people that can't handle the roundabout, you're annoying.
I can handle it. I just get a little bit like ooh.
It's not that hard.
It's not hard. But
It's not hard at all.
People that yield don't yield. They just right up in there.
No, it's not that. You're just supposed to flow. Keep everything flowing. If you're
That's the
turning right.
problem, though. I don't trust other drivers.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
You'd rather have a four-way stop sign than a roundabout, Jay?
No, I'm pretty good at them now.
Have you seen the
I've relaxed my
gif
judgment of
where
other
the guy
people's
does the
driving.
roundabout and he just drives right over.
Yeah. I share more of that judgment of,
Just if you're aware of how it flows, you should
I'm
be fine.
aware. Other people aren't aware of me though.
That's not it.
This happened to me earlier in the week. Before we go to break, this happened to me earlier in the week. I was in the middle of some serious slow traffic to the point where I was like, "Oh man, I think I'm in the middle of a behind a funeral procession," which is okay. You feel bad, all right, and then you realize that you're not, and then you get angry, and then what do you do then? This is what I do. Then I find in the 17 cars, I find the one with the Illinois plates, and then I blame them.
Oh,
that's what I do.
Thanks,
I found that the other day.
You're like my dad. That's exactly what he does.
That's exactly what I do. Where this happened to me on Kimberly earlier this week, and I was like, man, this sucks. And then I was like, oh man, this is really bad.
My breakdown of how you know it's the worst driver is what you need to avoid as you're going down the highway. All right, so it starts out with this. It starts out with minivan. Okay, and then so anything in a minivan is bad, and then if it has Iowa plates, then it's bad. Then it gets a little bit worse. All right, and then if it's Iowa plates with any sort of handicap thing on it, then it gets worse than that, and then you got Illinois plates, are worse than that, and then the worst of the worst is Illinois plates with any sort of handicap thing on it,
or Illinois minivans. I mean, that's just like a.
But that's where, because you're getting to the point where, you're wondering what's going on, because the handicap could be vision, it could be anything else. You don't know what it is, and you're dealing with people that
I disagree.
Don't have great reflexes.
Okay, so the hardest part.
They obviously aren't baseball players,
right?
The hardest part from moving from the Quad Cities to a big city. I lived in Milwaukee for a long time. Was learning how to drive.
How do you get around Milwaukee?
It is very metro compared to. Are you kidding?
Milwaukee.
Well, Leah.
Is he joking right now?
I'm making fun of you for
You got
calling Milwaukee a
I-43, you
big
got
city.
I-45. It is a very big city. Oh my God.
The Quad Cities, one of the things that makes the Quad
It is
Cities
very
great
metropolitan.
is the way our highways and streets are set up.
I'm going to punch you in the face.
It's we live in one of the easiest places to get around. You can be anywhere in the Quad Cities in 15 minutes.
It's slow paced. It's
well,
very
with the bridge right now.
I had to become such a more aggressive driver when I lived in a more metro area because people they'll run you off the road.
You grow up here in the Quad Cities where we can get around anywhere in 15 minutes, and you go to a place like Milwaukee, or what's the original name? Milwaukee. What does that mean?
Algonquin for the good land. Leah didn't know that.
I don't even care. I don't even like you right now.
She's mad at me right now.
I am.
Was that Alice Cooper that
big
said that?
City of Milwaukee.
It is big city. Let's compare the Quad Cities
population
to Milwaukee.
Yeah,
that's not what we're gonna do. That.
Not saying that.
So it's not a big city. You drive around there, you're gonna get lost your first 5 minutes in the city.
I've been there.
It's a big city to Big City J, because there is no Big City J in this room. He does not like big cities.
I've driven
so
around
guess
Milwaukee
what?
Plenty.
It is compared to here. It's very metropolitan. There's so many. I mean, it's twisties and turnies and every. I mean, it's crazy traffic.
I'm already dreading going to Des Moines tomorrow. How's that? So,
how big is Des Moines? It's not even a million.
Too big for Big City J.
About 500,000. Leah could.
I'm like,
Leah
you know
could
what?
navigate that
Did you
easy.
live there? No. So your opinion doesn't even
I've
matter.
been there plenty.
You talking about Milwaukee?
Yes.
No, I'm saying I believe it is hard to navigate.
It
but I'm
is.
saying
It's
if you grow up
crazy.
in the Quad Cities, we're 500,000 people pretty much, but our streets are so well put together.
Well, we're rural. We're not metropolitan
You
at
kind of
all.
get spoiled living here.
Yeah.
You can be anywhere in 15 minutes, and
That's
you got to go
true.
to a place like Milwaukee, and it's hard.
Just traffic alone, and just the exits and the there's no quick way to get from A to B in a larger city.
Well, read what this traffic report was brought to you by today.
It's Troy's turn.
No,
It's her turn. She can't do it. She's too frustrated right now.
Go ahead. No, you really? We're gonna really?
Are you upset right now?
No.
you
Locally
sure
owned and
Milwaukee
operated in the
can
Quad
make
Cities since 1934, Tri-City, not Troy, has been your source for restaurant equipment value. Quality, very competitive prices, and full service. Your restaurant equipment choices include kitchen cookware, cooking equipment, refrigeration, kitchen utensils, tableware, china, glassware, and flatware. All restaurant equipment and kitchen equipment sales are guaranteed, including 30 days labor and 90-day parts. Tri-City does deliver to Quad City residents, and they will match any online price. Give them a call today at 563-322-5382 or for any questions you may need for your bar, restaurant, or personal kitchen. Showroom hours are 8 to 5 Monday through Friday at Tri-City Equipment, located at 527 West 4th Street.
You like that? You like that? Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
This is Tom Kakert from HawkeyeReport.com, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
We will get our momentum back. Our business is back, our smiles back, ourselves back. Because that's what this community does. At First Midwest Bank, we want to thank our colleagues for doing everything they can to help our clients and our communities get through this. Because we are all in this together. And together, we will get our momentum back. First Midwest Bank. Visit firstmidwest.com. Member FDIC.
Escúchame, it is Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Amin El-Hassan here.
By the way, I just want to point out real quick, Dan contacted me over the weekend. He was very emotional. It was very touching. I appreciated Dan. And Dan apologized to me for what was happening in the country. And I said, Dan, it's not your fault. Like, you're not the one who needs to apologize. And Dan said, I thought you were a waiter. I said, you know what? I take it back. Maybe you need to apologize a little bit.
I did. When I met him, I did. I'm super woke-a-tard. You know I'm super woke-a-tard. And when I met Amin El-Hassan, who had worked at the network for, I don't know, many months at that point, I thought he was a Clevelander waiter. Guilty. The king of woke. Guilty of obvious racism.
It's a little bit of racial profiling in everybody, right?
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad Cities Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
Here we are, on location at the Pearly Gates, the place where people's lives are laid out before all creation. It's Judgment Day. Hey, there's St. Peter now.
All right, young man, step forward. Let's take a look at your life. Says here you live a long life, ate healthy foods, you never called in sick to go fishing, loved your wife and kids, and... well, let's see, it looks pretty boring to me.
But St. Peter, I thought I did everything right to get into heaven.
But you didn't do anything. You were just a couch potato. You could have at least got a motorcycle, had fun, saved gas and the ozone layer, and enjoyed life to its fullest, as he intended it to be.
Oh?
Yeah, with a place like Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic in Bettendorf, there's no excuse. With over 250 new and used motorcycles on display in their brand new third showroom, 19,000 square feet of motorcycle heaven, if you catch my drift, you could have done a lot better than you did. Well, we'll let you in anyway. Hey, you, Hendrix! Put that guitar down and show him his room.
Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic, State Street, Bettendorf, across from the Pearly Gates of Alcoa. Almost.
Oye, amigo, it is the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
My brain doesn't. My first instinct is not the right thing. Like, you guys seen that the
No, see,
president of
I said 2 minutes left. No, the 2 minute offense, you have
This
failed. No, you're gonna get tackled in the backfield. Get out of here, Brennan. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Goodbye.
The Dan Le Batard Show, 9 till noon on the Quad Cities Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
To heal, victims of human trafficking need a place to feel safe and rebuild their lives. That's what we do at Dorothy's House every day. Help us continue to serve during these challenging times. Visit dorothyshouse.org/donate.
There's an old Chinese proverb. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Digging season is almost here. Shademaster Nursery wants you to stop and pick out your tree from over 12 acres of their locally grown trees. Shademaster's full-service nursery, garden center, and tree farm has the area's finest selection of shrubs and perennials, too. Visit them today and enjoy their everyday low prices. Shademaster Nursery, 4401 West 90th Street, just a quarter mile north of Farm and Fleet in Davenport.
When you're working from home, just tell Alexa to play us. It will be a much better conversation than you normally have with those coworkers. This is the Quad Cities Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Welcome back. You go.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
all right.
I got it. You do your thing on your phone. Hey, welcome back to ESPN 1170 AM. Don't Hassles for Local, live here in the Hassle Castle. Brought to you by Done Right TV and Security. You can listen to us also on ESPN 1170 AM app. Go to wherever you get the app, your app store. Download ESPN 1170 AM. You can listen to us at ESPN1170am.com. Click the upper right-hand corner, listen now, and you can listen to us, watch us, and leave comments on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread on Facebook Live and on YouTube, our YouTube channel as well. Don't Hassles for Local. Go ahead and subscribe to that as well.
Yeah, we lost Leah. She's driving around Milwaukee.
Yeah, I know.
Got lost.
Yeah. So, we're kind of talking a little bit about baseball. Speaking of, Rob Manfred says he's 100% sure that there will be a baseball season in 2020.
Was his dad the lead singer of Manfred Mann?
I don't know. We'll have to check that out, though. Just to catch you guys up to everything, the league's initial proposal called for an 82-game season and a system of tiered salary cuts that would have had its greatest impact on baseball's most famous premier players. The union countered with a 114-game full pro rata proposal that was dismissed by the owners. When the league on Monday submitted a proposal for a 76-game season and a 75% prorated salaries, the players countered with an 89-game full proposal on Tuesday, which also included an expanded postseason for the next 2 years and a regular season that would end October 11th. Manfred does not want to see the regular season extend beyond September. He wants to guard against a potential second wave of the coronavirus and ensure that there is a postseason, because the postseason is a crucial revenue generator of television money, of course. Players remain firm in their belief that they are owed their full prorated salaries based on an agreement made by both sides in March, while owners say the reality of hosting games with no fans means significant enough losses to warrant more financial concessions from players. Neither side has expressed a willingness to shift from their positions. If the sides can't reach an agreement, Manfred has the autonomy to implement a shorter season. It would reportedly consist of 48 games as long as players receive full prorated salaries. If that ends up being the case, sources have said the MLBPA would likely not agree to an expanded postseason and might even file a grievance.
So they're still not playing.
This is where it gets dicey. Then the concern then would center on how that animosity might spill into negotiations over a new collective bargaining agreement, with the current one set to expire after the 2021 season. He says he's 100% sure there will be a baseball season in 2020.
He's on crack.
That's what he said. I saw it myself.
I heard he got lost in Milwaukee once.
Oh my God. You know, he said driving around was difficult, though, because of all the traffic.
Manfred said, I think at the end of the day, the most important thing is that we play Major League Baseball. So.
Oh, he's such a puppet owner. Or
what?
Puppet, what do you call it? A puppet commissioner.
Well, I don't know. Baseball's got some problems, but
don't we
hopefully
all?
they do it.
I mean, we all have problems.
Thought about this earlier today.
Figure it out, baseball.
What?
I said figure it out, baseball.
Yeah, or I'm going to sick Leah.
Quit being the toxic one. All
yeah,
right?
get him, Leah.
What do you guys think of the new 30 for 30 thing about Sosa McGuire?
I didn't watch it.
Huh?
I didn't watch it.
It comes out Sunday.
Yeah,
oh,
Bruce Lee. I started watching
Bruce Lee.
Yeah, I taped it. It's pretty good.
I wanted to watch that.
This one's supposed to be. I don't know. They came out with a new trailer for it. I'll watch it.
What happened to Sammy Sosa?
Dude,
he's got some rare skin disease. It's
like Michael Jackson.
Are we sure?
No,
or
he
bleached.
bleached.
Did he take a bleach?
He bleached his skin.
No. He's got like a psoriasis type thing.
He had what Michael Jackson claimed he had, vitiligo, and he did that. Where he's from, now if you research this, because
is he from Puerto Rico?
No, Dominican
Republic.
Right.
In Dominican Republic, it is very to be lighter skinned is more attractive. So it is very popular in the Dominican Republic for people to actually bleach their skin.
All right, are you sure he did that?
Yes, look it up.
This is where I heard he had a disease.
Well, that's what they say, so that they can be politically correct here in America.
Okay.
Do you want to fight about it?
No.
I'd rather drive around Milwaukee and see you get lost.
Well, that seems to be the thread today with Troy and me. I love you so much.
Well, look it up. I want to see it.
Yeah, I'm going to.
He denied it, but if you look at...
well, I'm just saying.
If you look at the Dominican Republic and their culture...
Baseball's been very, very good to him.
Baseball's been very, very good to me.
Yeah.
Who was the guy that said that? Was it Vida?
Sammy Sosa.
No, I think it was Vida Pinson.
Sammy said it too to Congress.
Vida Pinson, who has the most hits of any Major League Baseball player who's not in the Hall of Fame.
Here, I just looked this up right here. It says, because of societal disdain for dark complexions, many Dominicans, including...
No, but what about Sammy Sosa?
I'm reading it. Thank you. Including...
I guess she told you.
Including popular Dominican baseball player Sammy Sosa have bleached their skin. After using bleaching treatments, Sammy Sosa even thought of possibly endorsing the product for others.
And he's got blue eyes now. He's wearing
those are contacts.
Yeah. So I mean,
no, you sure you didn't bleach his eyes?
Ouch!
Did you guys see? Okay, so this morning I read
maybe
this
he was
article.
driving around Milwaukee and his eyes got bleached.
So this was in Newsweek in 2018. Sosa initially addressed the controversy over skin color in a 2009 interview with Univision's Premier Impacto, explaining that his skin became lighter due to a bleaching cream he was using to soften his skin, but he insisted that he wasn't racist and he wasn't purposely trying to whiten his complexion. What happened is that I had been using the cream for a long time, and that combined with the bright TV lights made my face look whiter than it really is.
Yeah, no, but if you really do look up Dominican Republic, it says there's 5 uncomfortable truths about blackness in the Dominican Republic. It is a cultural thing where lighter skin you get more respect and you're treated better. there is racism amongst their own race in Dominican.
Sure. Sosa also said he wasn't on steroids.
So I just, since we're on the bleach topic, I have to get this in here. 16% of Americans, this is true, bleach their food because of the coronavirus scare. Look it up. I swear to God.
All right, well, that's going to kill you. But
yeah.
What?
But this is what we're dealing with, people. These people vote and they reproduce. And they bleach their food to not contract.
And they watch Seth Meyers.
Yeah. And they think Milwaukee's small.
Oh, that was a good one. You got me.
So no baseball or baseball this year?
So... Huh? Jay did not like the bleach talk at all.
People will come, Ray.
Oh, there'll be baseball.
Oh, there will be baseball. If you build it, they will
For
come.
reasons they can't even fathom. They'll turn up your driveway, not knowing for sure why they're doing it. They'll arrive at your door as innocent as children, longing for the past. Of course, we won't mind if you look around, you'll say. It's only $20 per person. They'll pass over the money without even thinking about it. For it is money they have.
I love his
Peace
voice.
they like.
Ray, just sign the papers.
And they'll walk out to the bleachers.
Is that Darth Vader?
Sit in shirt sleeves.
Yes.
Perfect afternoon. They'll find they have reserved seats somewhere along one of the baselines.
At least it won't be in Milwaukee.
So they sat when they were children and cheered their heroes. And they'll watch the game. And it'll be as if they'd dipped themselves in magic waters. The memories will be so thick, they'll have to brush them away from their faces.
Ray, when the bank opens in the morning,
All right, 30 years ago, just over 30 years ago, this movie. Does this have the same effect?
Yes.
For baseball.
Yes.
People will come, Ray.
Yes.
The one constant through all the years,
Hold on.
Ray, has been baseball. America has rolled by like an army of steamrollers. It's been erased like a blackboard, rebuilt and erased again. But baseball has marked the time. This field, this game, is a part of our past.
Now, we all have a problem with what's going on right now, and we say, some people say they won't go back to baseball, but things like that, does that hold up now, 31 years later? Is the same
Does
thing?
the sport, does
yes,
what he's saying,
what he's
that
saying.
baseball's
Dip yourselves in magic waters.
No.
Take you back to your youth.
Baseball in the 90s, I really think baseball declined in the 90s.
I know exactly why.
I mean,
because the entitlement.
You didn't have a World Series. You didn't have. Well, I'm just gonna name reasons I think, and then you tell me what you think. But the World Series, the strike, all that. I don't think the steroid era really hurt baseball until afterwards. Like, people were like, "Oh, it was all steroids." Like, everybody wanted to be like comfortably dumb. Not comfortably numb, but comfortably dumb. Like, oh, I didn't know they were on steroids. Oh, really? You know what I mean? Like, okay, guys. A little bit of that, and I think you didn't have until like the end of the 90s. The Yankees started that little run of theirs. You didn't have like a great team in the 90s. You know what I mean? Like, you had like
You had the Atlanta Braves were amazing.
This, the 70s Reds. You follow me here?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if the 80s really had a great team.
The 80s were a unique decade.
But the 80s, the Cardinals were always really, really good. The Mets had that great team for a while.
But they only won one World Series, 86.
Right, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But you just had, I think you had more star power, too.
You had the 4-year run of the A's, and I know 87 wasn't, but you had McGuire coming in hitting 49 as a rookie. Then you have 88, 89, and 90.
They only won it 1 year, 89?
Yeah.
Dodgers had a pretty good...
The Atlanta Braves.
Dodgers had a good 80s, but they were like...
They were the
81, 88.
They were the only team in the 80s to win, too. 81 and 88.
Yeah.
And but you guys are missing the point. You want to know why baseball has declined? I'm going to throw a lot at you here in 2 minutes. Ready for this?
Yeah.
Shoot.
When I was a little boy growing up in the 70s and 80s, you could blindfold me. And you could unblindfold me for 3 seconds and let me see just 3 seconds of any ball game. And I could tell you who was playing and where they were playing. Because every ballpark had history and was unique, and every uniform had different colors. Padres wore brown and yellow. The A's wore bright green, not this dark green that looks black. Now, all of a sudden, and I blame Bill Buckner. It's not his fault, but he wore the high-top cleats, and the next year Eric Davis wore the red ones, and then all of a sudden Bonds wore them, and all of a sudden they said we look like dorks, we need longer pants, and they lost the stirrups. Now, all of a sudden, you get the long, baggy pajama pants. Then, all of a sudden, all these teams say, you got 30 Major League teams, let's all get all full gray pajama outfits with no unique colors. And I did a study on it. I looked at it, and out of 30 teams, 24 of them have some sort of all black or all navy blue hat. Doesn't mean they always have to wear it, but at least they have one. Now all of a sudden you're watching a black and white television where everybody wears gray uniforms with a navy blue or black hat. Then you get the Latin and Asian invasion, and all of a sudden every team has 3 Ordonez's, 3 Martinez's, 3 Ramirez's, and you don't know who's who. And the ballparks got ripped down, and all of a sudden they try to build all these new retro ballparks, but they have no history. You don't know at a glance. And what really kills it is the advertisement. If you blindfold me now and unblindfold me, all I see is a Levi Strauss or a Verizon sign in the background and all gray uniforms with navy blue hats, and everything looks the same. So we've lost that diversity. We've lost that variety of colors and tradition and history, and it's become a blur.
It's become commercialized. It's all commercialized.
Doggone it, Bill Buckner.
This is capitalism.
You know, you look at the uniforms they had in the 70s and 80s, at least you knew who it was playing. At least you knew who was playing because the uniforms were all unique. I mean, nowadays they all look the same. I don't know if it's the Seattle Mariners away uniform or the Cleveland Indians away uniform or the Yankees away uniform. I mean, this list goes on and on and on. From the back of the pitcher, you can't tell. And so now when you turn on a television and watch baseball, it's a blur.
Well, it's commercialized. It's over commercialized. It's over sponsored. It's over. It's become.
I like the baggy pants.
I don't.
It doesn't bother me. But you do sell more. It's like when they do the interleague last year, and then they all just wore a black hat or a white hat. Then they realized that the pitchers couldn't wear the white hat because it's hiding the baseball. So then you'd have all the. I see what you're saying, but they're selling more and more jerseys because of it.
And then the free agent thing really killed things. Curt Flood, 1971, I believe the year was. You know, if you took the United States map every other year and just shook it in every city, now Cincinnati's in West Virginia, now Cheyenne, Wyoming's in North Dakota, everything changed, you'd lose interest. You say, I don't have a stake in this anymore because this is not my country.
There's no loyalty.
And so in the 70s growing up, George Brett, I knew he was in Kansas City, okay? Johnny Bench, I knew he was in Cincinnati. These guys, they were staples, and it lets you become invested. You knew what every player in every city stood for, and the uniforms didn't change every 2 years. But we have diversified so much in the name of sales. Hey, if we have 5 different hats, we can sell more merchandise, and it's made people lose interest in the sport. Could you imagine if NFL football teams had 5 different helmets, and every 5 weeks they wore them all? You wouldn't know who the hell was playing. The NFL is very good at that. Every now and then they wear a retro helmet. The Patriots wear their white helmet, but for the most part, uniforms stay the same.
Yeah, they limit it to the number. They limit the number that they can do. The NFL regulates that, and then you have the color rush every once in a while.
And take the American flag. If every third day we changed it to purple and orange, and then we changed it to gray and silver, it wouldn't mean the same thing. There's something to be said about something that is consistent and doesn't stay the same. And baseball lost that big time.
I think they lost majority of their followers when they did the strike, and then when they,
Well, they had a strike in '91. And I'm sorry, 81. They had a strike in 81.
They did in 81.
And
that 94.
That didn't seem to kill it. So
they went more and more and more.
94, the strike didn't help, but I believe that after Bill Buckner wore the high tops and everybody else wanted to wear the low baggy pants so they could wear the high tops and not look dorky, we became a clone device with everybody wearing gray pajamas, and now you have no idea what team's out there. Now think about that.
What do you have against gray pajamas?
If one team wears them, nothing. If 26 out of 30 team wears them, I don't know who's playing.
Yeah. I miss the stirrup socks.
It's an interesting take.
Those are my favorite. You okay over here? Troy's lost interest.
I'm lost in Milwaukee right now.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting take though about the whole thing, and I understand it. And there's another thing.
Has gray pajamas up there.
We live in a very fast society now, and the game is not very fast.
But you're right though with the Brewers. I was trying to think about what Jimmy was saying. I was kind of lost in thought there.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the teams whose colors have changed. The Brewers, for example, it was a bright blue or or a royal blue or
Yep.
whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
Went to Navy.
And yellow.
And gold.
It went to Navy and gold.
Whoa, here's another one. Why
bear-
change that logo?
To the bear from the M.
Like, why ever just
Why
go to that
ever-
M
yeah,
with the
yeah,
yeah.
wheat? Like that is
The M with the B with the glove was
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
that's a brutal one. When we do that because we think we're going to sell something
The
more.
Astros could have stuck with something a little more orange.
Yeah.
And not gone with the Navy. That the Navy could have just been a secondary color in that.
Mhm.
You know, and then with the orange they could have just done white home pants, and then you could have done gray
Look at the-
pants, but you could have done something different with the top.
Look at the Padres. They went
Look,
from they
all
went
right.
from brown to navy. Look at the Seattle
Yes.
Mariners. They
What,
went
96
from,
they did that?
bright blue to navy. Look at
The Padres and the Astros
No,
almost
that
have the
really
same
not. 92.
colors now. Seriously.
They went to navy blue and orange and white.
And then you
the
look at
Padres.
Tampa, the Tampa Bay Rays.
navy blue.
Navy blue
Yeah.
and what? A little bit of what? A little bit of teal. Gee, who is navy
A
blue and a
little
little bit of teal?
And
in
then
my life.
you could argue it and say, well, the Miami Marlins have different colors. No, they don't. Miami Marlins have an all black hat with a little bit of color up here. I'm talking about in the old days, the Marlins had a bright teal hat.
Yeah.
Okay, you knew who was playing at a glance.
Yeah.
Even the Oakland A's.
I mean, at least like well, I can't even say that. The Nationals, one of their
Navy
uniforms
blue.
is a navy blue.
Yeah,
it
that's
looks
what
like
I'm
a
saying.
Walgreens logo.
It does.
It
does.
is awful.
The New York Mets.
Well, no, the Walgreens logo looks like a Washington Nationals. Oh, wait a minute.
New York Mets got a black hat, and the list goes on and on.
Well, the Mets was a team that was great. It had that royal blue with the orange, and
Yep.
it went well. But the Red Sox were the first navy.
Well, in the 70s, they actually wore a lobster red hat.
Yeah.
If you remember the 1976
Yeah,
World Series
I
when
do.
Fisk hit the home run, or 75, I'm sorry. It was a lobster red hat.
Well, it goes back to what was that movie with DiCaprio? Why does everybody always lose to the Yankees? They keep looking at the pinstripes.
Keep looking at the pinstripes.
They had the pinstripes.
You know,
Yankees always
but
had
you
the-
know what this comes down to? It comes down to loyalty, and it comes down to fanship. Really, is that a word? I just made it up. Now it is. So, and it's based out of Milwaukee.
I think there's a street called fanship in Milwaukee.
Can't you say the
I
same
drove down.
argument that some people have lost their allegiance to certain football teams because they are too fixed on their 17 fantasy football teams?
Yes.
Maybe, but it still brought a lot of attention to the game. All right, here's the deal with playing fantasy football as opposed to playing fantasy baseball. Fantasy baseball is impossible to follow, Jay, and it's terrible. It's
confusing.
I'm sorry, I've tried it. It's the worst thing in the world.
It's a smart man's game.
Okay. Well,
Fantasy
I guess
game.
I'm
It really
just
is.
too stupid.
No, it's not. I mean, it
But
really does. It takes a
doesn't
lot
make-
more.
It doesn't make any sense.
There's 10 categories to follow. It
I'm
really
just
is. Yeah.
kidding. Settle
It's
down.
insanely
Love you
not
so
fun
much.
for your average fan. Where NFL fantasy can draw attention. Let's just say Leah only likes one team, we know, but
I like both teams. I'm just saying.
but what I'm getting at is you can get good God. That is beyond belief. Beyond belief. Oh Lord. Anyway, you
job.
get your average fan that like any I hate to say just female, but it could just be any dude that I don't know. You can follow it for a week, make a 1 week lineup for that one day. Basically, Sunday's the bulk of it. Done. Baseball, you're like, I don't know, it just who's on the injury list this week? It's like
right.
He's starting how many games? Oh, he got scratched. I didn't realize he got scratched. I mean, there's just too many weird nuances with that where the fantasy football gets more people involved in it. But you still have your people that root for their teams. And it's one game a week.
I understand.
The sports are so different. They're like comparing apples and oranges. I mean, it's not fair.
I'm just saying that are we losing like the that's my team type of thing at all? I'm not saying we are losing it in football.
I don't think we are. But I feel in baseball like you've lost. I think Jimmy's got onto something a little bit with the name recognition by just looking at a jersey.
Nobody knows who's on what teams anymore because not only because of, like I said, the Latin invasion, which the Latin players are great. They're some of the best players in the world. But because there's so many of the same similar name, Ordonez, Ramirez, Gonzalez, and you don't know who you're really watching as a fan. Here's another thing. If I told you that, hey, we're going to have Christmas twice a month all year, how special would Christmas be on December 25th?
My daughter still love it, but yeah.
Do you get my point?
Yeah.
I'm not buying Jay's a gift every month.
Interleague play hurt baseball. Interleague play hurt baseball. When I was growing up in the 70s and 80s, when I saw the Brewers and the Cardinals uniforms in 82 and pictures after 82, I knew that was a very unique scenario. You wouldn't see those two teams play.
Yeah.
The All-Star game was important because for one moment in the summer, you knew you got to see the matchups. Nolan Ryan versus Don Mattingly or whatever it is. Now, because of interleague play, which essentially what baseball did is they beat their kids so bad, like a parent who beats their kids, and they said, here's a bicycle. This will make up for it.
Oh, that broke my heart.
After
I like that analogy.
1984 with the strike, when they completely
81, 94.
84, when they completely pissed on everybody, they said, here's a little gimmick. We're going to have interleague play. That way you guys can have a little treat here, and we're also going to let the players juice up big time and erase every single record that was sacred so you guys can see more slow-pitch softball in a major league game, and it completely imploded. You can say that I'm wrong, but I'm not.
No, it's all of this. It's not. It's the players, it's the teams, and it's Major League Baseball, the front office. All right, the teams for making the trading away players at the trade deadline to save money to get picks or to build when they're building up. So there's a thing there too. You can't just say free agency does it. They're trading away players. They're trading away contracts that they signed, they offered. And then you have exactly what you're talking about, Major League Baseball, by putting these things together. They're not well thought ideas. That's why I say over and over again, the NBA is ahead of everything. They are always ahead. The changes they make are ahead of the game. Major League Baseball, what they're doing is exactly what you said. They're giving a bike after beating down the fans and the players over and over again, being like, this is a good idea. Let's go back to the 2002 All-Star game. It's a tie. Mm-hmm. That wasn't a well thought out thing. Do you know what they did?
That was in Milwaukee, by the way.
Yeah, in front of, and Bud Selig was right there.
Was it really hard to get there?
No, it wasn't, because I was dating a girl from there, and I was actually there that weekend. Really odd. I drove around the entire time.
And this wasn't a well thought out thing. It wasn't like they waited a long time. What did Bud Selig do right away after that?
He made a rule about the future All-Star games?
He made a rule about the outcome of the future All-Star games that would change the World Series. So it was like, hey, we're going to do this. He didn't get people around him. He had sycophants that were like, this is a great idea. Just go ahead and do it. And then he did the same thing back in the 80s. So I just think that in the 90s and the 80s. So I just think you wasn't there in the 90s, 80s. But that's what they do. They just make a knee-jerk reaction. They make a change to the rules, and everyone just has to deal with it. And I think it's one of those things that if you did leak it out like they do now with the negotiations, people would piss all over it, say it's a terrible idea. But it's just one of those things like, look what we did, interleague play. I don't really care for interleague play. To be honest with you, we're talking so much about Milwaukee, I don't think it's that great of a stadium. And I've probably been there. It's probably number 3 out of all the stadiums I've been to. Target Field 1, Wrigley 2, Milwaukee Park 3, and I don't really like it. And the Twins play there quite a bit, and that's where I go see them. I'm not a fan of the place.
The coolest thing about Milwaukee Stadium, and I lived like 2 blocks away when I lived there when I first moved there, is you can tailgate. It's the only baseball diamond. There's one other, I think, in the United States where you can tailgate in the parking lot.
Away? The parking lot's about 2 blocks.
You can tailgate at...
I lived in South Milwaukee when I first
moved
there.
You can tailgate at
Kansas City.
Comiskey, yeah. Kansas City, they share a parking lot.
It's right outside the stadium, though. It's not like down. It's not down to the parking lot. There's no walking distance. You're literally tailgating at the game.
Yeah, there's no downtown close to that. Like, you're right.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe that's what I did.
That was
really
cool
like
about it. And then we had our beer garden, too, which was amazing. And then the roof. We had the retractable roof, which was a big deal when we first installed it. As if I'm part of it. But you know what I'm saying.
I hope. I mean, he has Manfred. If Manfred says there's 100%, there's going to be a season, there's going to be a season because he has the right to make the season. And that's what it's going to come down to. Let's take a break. When we come back, let's look at Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby, our movie of the week that we expedited.
I'm gonna harass Troy while he does this.
Okay.
Well, obviously, Leah loves pizza. She wants to harass me because we're going to be talking about Van's Pizza and more. That's right. I am very sexy. And that Van's Pizza you love is ready to go. All you have to do is call 563-232-1396, and they'll have it hot and ready for you to carry out. Or have it delivered. Delivery area covers all of Bettendorf and LeClaire. Opens from 11 to 9 daily. And right now, Leah, you want to hear some sexy specials?
What's sexy?
$5 cheeseburger basket, $7 double cheeseburger basket, a $5 personal pizza, or a $7 personal specialty.
I'll take the double.
$9 for any medium, or Leah, this is right up your alley, $12 for any large.
Large is my
Once
favorite.
again, open 11 to 9 daily. That number, 563-232-1396. Van's Pizza and More, 5023 Competition Drive in
Bettendorf.
You like that? You like that? Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
This is Josh Sides, head coach, St. Ambrose University Esports. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
We will get our momentum back. Our business is back, our smiles back, ourselves back. Because that's what this community does. At First Midwest Bank, we want to thank our colleagues for doing everything they can to help our clients and our communities get through this. Because we are all in this together. And together, we will get our momentum back. First Midwest Bank. Visit firstmidwest.com. Member FDIC.
Golick and Wingo.
Can we say baseball is the worst at this?
Yes.
Of them publicly talking about money. Shut up! Seriously! Players, owners, shut up! We get it. We know it. Let it all happen behind closed doors. Don't tell, you're saying this publicly to people who are listening who have had to close their businesses because they can't take out loans, or if they take out loans, they can't pay them back. You know, I mean, it's just, again, true, but tone deaf. Just like we didn't want to hear years ago an NBA player say $1 million doesn't take you as far as it used to.
Latrell Sprewell couldn't feed his family on $4 million.
I mean, have a little bit of common sense about your surroundings of what you're doing. It blows my mind of just, oh my God, biblical proportions, we're going to lose this money.
Golick and Wingo, morning 6 till 9 on the Quad Cities Sports Leader, ESPN 1170.
If you're thinking of trading in your old car, if you want to get more money for it than ever, now's the smartest time to do it. The big buyback event is at all 6 Smart Automotive Group locations for 3 days only. Smart will buy your vehicle, no matter the condition, no matter where you bought it. With used car demand the highest it's been in a decade, we'll pay you more than ever for your trade. And we'll buy your vehicle even if you don't buy one of ours. Get to any Smart Automotive Group location this weekend. Get more for your trade and take advantage of low prices and real zero deals on our entire inventory, including zero money down offers, 0% APR financing, 0 payments for 90 days, and 0 cost maintenance. But hurry, the big buyback event absolutely ends Saturday at 6 p.m. Give us a call, visit us online or in person at the all-new Smart Automotive Group of Davenport, just south of North Park Mall and on 53rd and Eastern. SmartAutoQC.com.
See dealer for full details. Some offers may not be combined. Exclusions may apply. Interest to cruise from date of purchase in 6/13/20.
In the Army National Guard, family means everything.
They really appreciate what she's done as a sister as well as a soldier and, supporting their country.
Our parents, they were really supportive that all 5 of us would join.
Family members that are soldiers in the Army National Guard inspire and influence, setting a path for others.
It's validating knowing that, I kind of did my part to make sure this is what they actually wanted and that they feel the same way I do. I'm really proud that we get to help shape the future, and I know that my sisters are going to be amazing soldiers.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard instills pride that you and your family will share in.
A lot of pride, and they're just out there doing something every day and then serving their country as well.
I got my education because of the Guard. I got to travel a little bit and experience a whole different culture.
Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Iowa Army National Guard. Aired by the Iowa Broadcasters Association and this station.
River Valley Turf is your family-owned and operated John Deere dealer, specializing in both lawn and garden and commercial equipment. From walk-behind mowers and lawn tractors to utility vehicles and compact tractors with a variety of attachments. Everything to get your toughest job done. They also have a huge inventory of both new and used John Deere outdoor power equipment in stock and ready for your test ride. That's right. Try it before you buy it. Stop in today and see what River Valley Turf has to offer. Conveniently located in Davenport, Silvis, and online at rivervalleyturf.com.
From the Sheedy Family Chiropractic Studios, this is the Quad Cities Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KBOB Davenport.
Jay, we're coming at you like a spider monkey. That's right. We're back here in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Dunright Satellite and Dish. And did you want Energy Bird? You got it.
There he is.
All right, let me tell you about Just Doors QC. Just Doors is a proud sponsor. Don't hassle us, we're local. And just like the Quad City's only local sports talk radio show, Just Doors QC is locally owned. Get a hold of our man, Paul Shelley, at 309-657 to get started to help you change your home into your dream home. Paul brings an air of professionalism to every opportunity he's offered, big and small, and will treat your home as if it were your own. Get a front door as a return on your investment. It also makes your curb appeal there and can stop that draft that comes in during the winter months as well. And right now, also beside the front door, They have a special going on for storm doors, $200 up until the special runs through June 21st. You provide the storm door, they'll install it for $200. Go to their Facebook page, Just Doors QC, and read the numerous reviews and browse their incredible before and after pictures. While you're there, don't forget to like and follow their page. Start improving your living area by calling Paul at 309-657-8541. All right, it's Thursday. That means we look at a sports movie and we dissect it. And the other times it's kind of been a Space Jam, but we're kind of making a different turn here because I'm going to give you some categories because we've all seen this and there's no real much to break down. We'll break down a little bit. We'll talk about you guys nominate the best scenes, best quotes. I'll give you a few things there. But first, I give you this.
Guess how fast we're going now?
I don't care, I'm having a baby! You just passed the hospital!
Ricky Bobby was born
Mama, I'm going fast!
to become the fastest man alive.
That's my boy, Ricky! Woo!
Dear Lord, baby Jesus, I want to thank you for my family. My two beautiful sons, Walker and Texas Ranger, and of course my red-hot smoking wife, Carly.
Woo!
Ow!
You know, it might be cool sometime you could set me up for a win.
You can't have two number ones.
Yeah, you can. That makes 11.
But no man stays on top
Absolutely, ma'am. I'd love to sign your baby. You're not going to want to wash that forehead.
forever.
Well, the big news is that NASCAR has gone French.
I am coming for you, Ricky Bobby.
He's in the wall.
Uh-oh. Yep, I'm flying through the air. This is not good.
I'm on fire! I'm on fire!
You're not on fire, Ricky Bobby!
Help me, Jesus! Help me, Jewish God! Help me, Tom Cruise! Tom Cruise, use your witchcraft to get the fire out of me!
From the guys who brought you Anchorman and the 40-year-old virgin.
The doctor told us you can walk.
It's all in your head.
I am so paralyzed! You want to see what my life is?
Don't you stick that knife in your leg.
Oh, man!
Will Ferrell,
Ricky Bobby is not a thinker.
Give me a fastball, twisted lime.
What the hell's a fastball?
Oh!
Give me another.
Ricky Bobby is a driver.
Yeah, it's the real deal down there.
All right, 2006, Talladega Nights, A Ballad of Ricky Bobby comes out. This movie gets the okay by Sony Pictures on 6 words.
It gets what?
It got okayed by Sony Pictures on 6 words only. This was the pitch.
What were they?
Will Ferrell as a NASCAR driver. That was the pitch.
I'd do it too.
And they said yes. Like it said, just coming off of Anchorman. So that's a big one. John C. Reilly, they hadn't worked together yet. Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, they go on to make 2 more movies together.
Step Brothers, and what was the other one?
This was before Step Brothers?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
6 words?
6 words.
You know, it didn't work for the old Milwaukee commercial. They tried to sell it by saying Will Ferrell as a beer drinker. Remember
The one that was out on the river or whatever else? Yeah.
That didn't work.
Yeah, so, the Step Brothers was after this, and they made Sherlock Holmes and Watson.
Oh, yeah, I never saw that. No, thanks.
Like I said earlier, this I didn't... First time I saw it, I was like, it's all right. And then I think it's grown, and now I think it's a movie you can have in the background. So this is very much a classic. The guys involved in this movie are obviously Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly.
Borat.
Yeah.
Yep.
No one knows his real name. What is it? Anybody?
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah,
Yes.
Cohen, that's right. He's married to the
I
girl.
like it sex. It's nice.
He's married to
He's married to the chick from
Wedding Crashers.
Wedding Crashers. Yeah.
Vince Vaughn's love interest.
This is described on IMDb as the number 1 NASCAR driver. Ricky Bobby stays atop the heap thanks to a pact with his best friend and teammate Carl Naughton Jr. But when a French Formula One driver makes his way up the ladder, Ricky Bobby's talent and devotion are put to the test.
Hello, Ricky Bobby.
Obviously, he becomes the number 1 driver after the driver he was in the pit crew wouldn't drive. Who's actually Adam McKay, his partner in that, who plays that driver. What is that? Laughing Clown Malt Liquor?
Yeah.
Was the name of that. He goes on to be the fastest driver. Wonder Bread, his car.
Yes.
Old Spice, Carl Naughton Jr.'s car. and the French guys, Jean
was Pierre.
Yeah, not one of them had to pay any licensing fee for any of that.
I believe it.
Oh, they just did it.
They did it anyway. Yeah, so they put that out there. Gary Cole plays Reese Bobby. Michael Clark Duncan plays Lucius Washington. Leslie Bibb plays Carly Bobby, his wife, both of their wives. Jane Lynch plays Lucy Bobby, his mom. Amy Adams is Susan.
Oh, yeah.
That's who was married to Cohen, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Yes.
No, it's not.
I'm Googling.
I think it's the other one.
You want to bet money?
They look alike, though, right?
Yes, she's the other one's in Wedding Crashers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Amy Adams was in Wedding Crashers.
No, it's the one that was in Wedding Crashers that's married to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy Richter played
Isla Fisher.
John Gerard's husband, Gregory.
Yes.
Molly Shannon plays Mrs. Dennett. Molly Shannon is actually the one that introduced John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell.
Bless her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she said to Will Ferrell, "You need to meet my friend John C. Reilly. I think you guys
Is
will
it
hit it
odd
off."
that I have a crush on Molly Shannon?
No.
Is it because she just like this?
No, it's from Night at the Roxbury.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She was very.
She's a different looking woman, but she pulls it off. You know what I mean? Like she's got that look about her. Something about her. Yeah. Funny girls.
David
are always
Koechner
hot
is
anyway.
Herschel. Jack McBrayer is Glenn, and Ian Roberts plays Kyle. Ian Roberts has probably one of my favorite lines in this movie, and it's real subtle. And it's a conversation that they have at the pit stop. The is that the name of the bar? Is that the name of the bar that they go to? Is it the pit stop?
Yeah.
And Jack McBraier's talking about his Nana, and it's her 80th birthday's coming up. He's like, it's her 80th birthday, and I don't know what to get her. And he says, get her a casket.
Oh,
I don't know why. Every time I hear it, I think it's just hilarious. And then like they come back, he stares at him and comes back later, and he's like, how about a gigolo? You know, so I love the conversation in between.
That's terrible.
This movie, let's see, took 72. It was the budget was $72.5 million to make, and it made almost 150 million. It was number one in the box office.
Didn't make more than that. Shrek made like 450 million. You would think.
Well, maybe I could look it up. That's what I thought I read today. But other things involved here, some of the things that you wouldn't know about the idea, about the movie. Cal, Ricky, and Gerard were all introduced during the driver inductions at the 2005 UAW Ford 500 at Talladega. Ricky and Cal were cheered, but when Gerard was introduced as a driver from France driving the Perrier car, the entire crowd started booing without any prompting.
Wow. That's cool.
Gary Cole and Jane Lynch portray Will Ferrell's parents despite being only 11 and 7 years older than him. NASCAR officials objected to the original title of Talladega Nights, and the working title was then changed to the name of the production company, High, Wide, and Handsome. Loud and Proud was also considered. Following a brief phase in which the movie did not have a title, the film eventually reverted to its original title.
Huh. So what'd you think of the movie?
I'm not done yet.
Oh, well, there's so much.
Yeah.
Like he's very knowledgeable.
He is.
According to Steve Carroll, Will Ferrell wanted him to reunite with him for this film because they were in Anchorman together, but Steve Carroll couldn't do the film due to scheduling conflicts.
You mean Steve Carell?
Steve Carell. Ricky yelling for Tom Cruise as one of the religious figures who should help him is a dual reference because of Days of Thunder, and then also because of his involvement in Scientology. And also, John C. Reilly appeared in Days of Thunder as a primary member of Cruise's pit crew. Ricky Bobby's driver's license shown to have issued on July 16th, which is Will Ferrell's birthday. Let's see.
If you ain't first, you're last, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Well, we'll get to some of those things. How about some casting things? Michael J. Fox, Seth Green, and John Stamos were all considered for the role of John Gerard.
All right.
It is my accent. So Michael J. Fox, Seth
again.
Green, and John Stamos.
John Stamos.
John Stamos.
Uncle Jesse.
I like
day.
the Borat came out perfect as John Gerard.
He was. He was better.
The only reason I see John Stamos into the villain character is it's kind of like a Rob Lowe in Wayne's World. You just didn't see it coming.
And Tommy Boy too.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, so this comes out obviously. Yeah, 10, 15 years after.
John Stamos is way hotter too.
Angelica Houston, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Linda Hamilton, and Jane Seymour, which, by the way, speaking of Jane Seymour, there's a reference to Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, in this movie.
Yeah.
Angelica Houston, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Linda Hamilton, Jane Seymour were all considered for the role of Lucy Bobby, his mom.
Jane Lynch tore that up.
She did.
By
Best
the
pick
way,
all day.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus,
Yeah.
overrated actress. She's not funny at all. I don't care how much you love Seinfeld. Anybody could have played Elaine.
You know, I saw her in person in New York, and she's like 4 feet tall. She is a tiny, tiny little elf
Never
of a
been
woman.
impressed with her as an actress.
She's kind of annoying. She comes off like she'd be a bee, you know?
I mean, the only time she did anything funny in Seinfeld is when she said, "Maybe the dango ate your baby."
And her
That was
dancing.
it.
Her dancing was pretty funny. But,
Yeah, other than that, yeah. She was probably told that.
Samuel L. Jackson, Jamie Foxx, Shaquille O'Neal, Will Smith, Denzel Washington, Cuba Gooding Jr., Kadeem Hardison, Tracy Morgan, Eddie Murphy, Tommy Davidson, Chris Rock, Terry Crews, Chris Tucker, Taye Diggs were all considered for the role of Lucius Washington. That list is very long.
That's a great list.
Hold
too.
on, go back to that. One, I couldn't have got Samuel L. Jackson. Jamie Foxx, you could have. Shaquille O'Neal, yes, you could have. Will Smith, you couldn't have. He's just off of Independence Day.
Big dude, though. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I have to go with the character.
Denzel. Now,
to see.
Cuba, you could get. Kadeem. Tracy Morgan would have been good. No time. You couldn't have got Eddie Murphy to do it.
Why not?
Not enough money. That's what I'm saying. Terry Crews would have been good. I think Lucius did a great. I think who did it? Michael Clark Duncan did great for Lucius. I think it's
God
just
rest
so
his soul, by
it's
the
so hard to like do this. Here's one for you: Jack Black, Dennis Quaid, and Billy Crystal were all considered for the role of Cal Naughton Jr.
No, John C. Reilly.
All day.
John C. Reilly
Jack
based.
Black's annoying too, by the way.
I hate Jack Black.
So annoying.
John C. Reilly
So annoying.
based his character Cal Naughton off of photos that he saw of 60s and 70s NASCAR drivers. He said that the ones when they were doing the filming and everything else, he said they were too clean cut. He didn't like the look. And when he started looking at photos of them, he's like, yep, I'm going to get mutton chops and
Yes.
have the handlebar mustache and grow my hair out.
You know who I could see as his dad? James Woods.
Maurice
Well, that guy
Bernard,
looks like
who I
that
don't...
guy.
Kinda,
who's
yeah.
Maurice Bernard? And Hank Azaria were considered for the role of Reese Bobby.
Yeah.
Who? Say it again.
Maurice Bernard and Hank Azaria were considered for the role of Reese Bobby.
Now the guy they got to do it also does the announcer. He's the Cotton in
Gary Cole.
Dodgeball.
Dodgeball, yep.
Back to you, Cotton.
Well, let's take a look at Gary Cole real
Bold move,
quick.
Cotton. Let's see if they're
His
up for it. See if it pays off.
Because I'm trying to see, it's really like Office
Jason
Space that
Bateman could have been in this movie. He's
and
fun.
it's really Office Space that takes off for him, right?
Who?
Gary Cole, who plays Reese.
What do you mean? Oh,
That's
yeah.
his-
Oh,
yeah.
he's the boss.
Yeah.
If you could just do that, it'd be great.
And that was it. Yeah, he plays Lumberg in 1999.
That's right.
Lombard blanked her.
Oh, the scene where Jennifer Aniston and him are going at it. Oh my god!
And then
I
he
threw up in my
doesn't.
mouth.
He does TV shows. He does TV movies. He doesn't do a movie until 2005, and they're nothing done very well. And it's not until Talladega Nights: The Ballad of Ricky Bobby that he has another big movie. And Office Space wasn't a big movie; it became a cult classic. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
I think Reese. I think he wins the movie. To be honest with you,
my brother-in-law looks like that dude from Office Space. The
Swingler Stapler.
No, the main actor. The
Oh,
main star.
the unimportant one.
Not the unimportant one. The guy that he's the star. The one that dates Jennifer Aniston.
He's very
forget his name.
vanilla.
Something Livingston.
Very
Same
good.
guy.
vanilla.
It's Ron.
Ron Livingston.
Not memorable at all.
Wow, you're really nice, Leah.
You're
Why don't you go back to
welcome.
Milwaukee.
I will.
And then
See ya. I might
finally,
get lost.
Ellen DeGeneres, Alicia Silverstone, Melissa Joan Hart, and Paula Gugino were all considered for the role of Carly Bobby.
All right,
Ellen
Alicia's
DeGeneres.
Ellen
Ew,
DeGeneres?
no.
No, she's not even hot.
Well, it's not even
Alicia
about being hot.
Silverstone,
She's-
Melissa
she's
Joan
hot.
Hart would have been good. Melissa Joan Hart, let's see, she's probably at this point 5, 6, 7 years off of small role and Can't Hardly Wait. Alicia Silverstone did Clueless in 94, 95.
She's full of juice.
She hadn't done anything else out of there since then.
Yeah,
I don't
what
know who
happened to her?
Paula
She's still
Jean
alive.
is.
I haven't seen anything with her in it in
Life of
forever.
my dreams.
I think who played it was great.
Yeah, I think the whole cast was
I do too. That's why it's so. I think the other thing is you've seen it so many times. It's hard to figure out exactly like which ones is the. I mean, you see it so many times. It's hard to imagine anybody else to do it.
Mm-hmm.
The movie opens up with a text: "America is all about speed. Hot, nasty, badass speed." Eleanor Roosevelt, 1936. That's when you know you're getting into something here. Give me a nomination for best scene of the movie.
Best scene?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's so many.
I'm gonna go. The best scene in the movie is when Cal Naughton is calling Ricky. No. When Ricky goes home and finds out that Cal Naughton has married his wife and he's out.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty good. Or when he's calling him from his house, trying to get him to help him with like the remote.
The father-son scene was pretty good.
Or how about dinner? The whole scene at dinner.
All right,
the whole scene at dinner. My bad.
With his little evil.
Well, he does the
children.
prayer, and then you get the whole my Jesus is in a tuxedo T-shirt, like front stage at a Leonard Skinner concert.
You're right.
And then the grandpa speaks up, and the kid, Chip, I'll whip your butt. I'll come at you like a spider.
Cal says, "I had a dream where Jesus was a dirty old bum, and I was about to sock him in the face because, well, he's a dirty old bum. But then I thought, there's something special about him." Ricky Bobby says, "Because it was Jesus, right?" I said, "Yeah." This more from that scene. Dear Lord, baby Jesus, I want to thank you for this wonderful meal. My two beautiful sons, Walker, Texas Ranger, and my red hot smoking wife, Carly. We heard that part.
Woo!
There's what else do I have more from that scene. That scene is definitely up there for the
You're
best
an old
scene.
man.
Mhm.
I'm 12 years old.
What about it's like
I like to think of Jesus as a mischievous badger. I like to picture Jesus as a figure skater. He wears like a white outfit and he does interpretive ice dances of my life's journey. The opening scene at the school is pretty good. Reese comes in and says, "Excuse me, darling. I'm Reese Bobby, and I'm here for career day with my son, Ricky." And Ricky says, "Dad," he says, "Hi there, boy. Man, you got big. How long has it been? 3-4 months? 10 years. 10 years. Man, I got to lay off peyote."
Then he said something along the lines, he goes, "I'm going to tell you something. Don't be listening to these loser teachers."
The teacher says, "Mr. Bobby, there's no smoking in this area." "It's all right, darling. I'm a volunteer fireman." "Okay, I'm a semi-professional race car driver, and I'm an amateur tattoo artist." And I'll go, "Ooh."
I'm gonna watch this movie every day for the rest of my life. You guys make it funnier though.
You referenced the spider monkey thing earlier. Walker says, "Shut up, Chip, or I'll go ape on your ass." And then Texas Ranger says, "I'm gonna scissor kick you in the back of the head." Cal goes, "Yeah." Ricky says, "Yeah, turn up the heat."
I like it when the one little
Chip,
kid,
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
the one little kid's like, I was at school and the teacher said, "Who is this?" And I said that, and she said, "Wrong." And I said, "Well, you got a lumpy butt."
And she yelled at me.
That's mini
And I had
Troy.
to sit my pee pants
And that
all
pissed my
day.
pants. And I had to sit, and I'm still wearing my pee pants. Yeah.
Yeah, that scene, that whole like lunch scene, dinner scene is great. They got all the Domino's pizza.
Well, she says I'm
KFC,
tired. She's I've been
Taco Bell.
She said I've been slaving over dinner, and he says he wants to thank KFC, Domino's, and the always delicious Taco Bell in the thing when he does
All of his sponsors.
Yeah, well, yeah,
That's what they are. What about the field mouse is fast, but the owl sees at night?
There's
Remember
other things.
Yeah.
I do this, and then the other scene that he has with Jean Girard in the
Where they kiss.
no,
That's pretty funny.
well, that okay
In the bar?
in the bar is probably.
Oh, when he breaks
It's
his arm.
up there, yeah. And he won't do it and say, I love crepes. And he's like, I'll never say it. And even though they go through the whole thing about what crepes are, there is that scene's up there. It's the one that's interesting. It's not as long as the scene is when he goes to see John Girard and there's Elvis Costello and Mos Def there.
Yeah.
And they walks by and he's like, "I need to talk to you." And then as they walk away, he goes, "Is that Elvis Costello and Mos Def?" And he just goes, "No." And then they go on and talk about, that's deep. It's like Highlander. And he's like, "What is Highlander?" He's like, "It's a movie." He's like, "Is it good?" He's like, "Oh yeah, it's really good. Won an Academy Award." And he said, "For what?" And he said, "Best movie ever made." So that
it was such a good movie, by the way. I love Highlander.
there's a couple lines. There's what's the best commercial that they do on this?
Oh,
Hold on, I'll get to it. Hold on. Yeah.
Does he say?
Yes, he says. Hold on, I have it. He says, "I'm Ricky Bobby, and if you don't chew Big Red, F you." That's. There's a couple other. It's Ricky Bobby and Cal Naughton. He says, "Oh hey, I'm Ricky Bobby." Cal Naughton says, "And I'm Cal Naughton Jr., urging you never to go to Tijuana."
I like a little shake and bake, and then when it comes to Magic Man, you get this. Now you see me. Now you don't.
Yeah. Yeah,
Ricky Bobby in a television commercial. Hi, I'm Ricky Bobby. Christmas is right around the corner, and what a better way to give a gift to a loved one than the Jackhawk 9000 available at Walmart, and it's a huge camping axe.
He does the ad in Japanese. That one's pretty good too.
My cheeks hurt from laughing.
I forgot all about it because, like I said, I watched it at the beginning of Career Day, the Waffle House manager.
Oh God, yeah.
Who was great. And then there's a couple things on here that don't age well.
Oh, I don't want to know.
It's okay. It's just in this climate or whatever else. There's twice where they say I mean, I'm not even gonna like censor it and be like, oh, the R word. They say retard in it twice.
Oh. Well,
oh yeah, he goes. Remember we used to get in trouble for racing that
Max Box cars. He says he was a retard now. Yeah. He says thanks to my mom because my kids are no longer are gangbangers. The other one, the thing that there was before, they do address before really in a movie the homosexuality of the husband. They kiss. They have profiling before we even talked about racial profiling in the thing or even homosexual because he plays jazz in the bar. And he says, no one plays jazz in the bar. And he says, well, what do you have it on the jukebox for? And the bartender says, for profiling. We also have Pet Shop Boys and something else.
Okay.
So there's profiling there. And then the PA announcer says, ladies and gentlemen, that is a new track record. As it stands now, John Gerard is sitting on the pole, which is a statement of fact and is no way a comment on the driver's sexual orientation.
I remember that one. That's so good.
So if we're looking at this, the best scene probably is the I would say at dinner.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah,
I agree. I concur.
I do like the Susan, and I didn't see any casting what ifs for Susan.
For Amy Adams.
Yeah, when she gives a speech and he's like, yes, "This is like I feel like you're the girl on the Waitsnick video."
Yeah. Tommy Katan.
So.
By the way, and then they really dumb Amy Adams down, and then she takes her hair.
Oh, she's a beautiful woman.
Well, this is another movie that after this, she's in every movie ever made. After this,
fine with me. Have you ever seen her in The American Hustle?
She
doesn't wear a bra the entire time. She's got some no doubt what her boobs look like.
Speaking of I mean, she was in small roles on television. She was on The Office, and then this was like her big movie. And then after that, she blows up, and she's in every movie for like
Date with Jim.
Like 12, yeah, she's in 3 episodes.
That's right.
I know.
That's right.
So, but she is in like
Pam all jelly.
3. There's like 13 years where she's in every movie ever made.
Well,
she was in that princess movie, the reality, half cartoon, half reality.
They're bringing that back. They're making
Trouble
that right
with
now.
The Curve.
Why? That was awful.
They're making a sequel to that. She's going to be in the next Justice League as well. Yeah, she plays
another
Lois.
one coming out?
Yep, it's already
Really?
done. Yep, comes out
By the way,
June of next year.
I watched Birds of Prey last night.
I saw it in the theater with Lyric.
Ugh,
it was so
that was
awful.
the worst movie ever.
It was the best scene was when they were making the breakfast sandwich. I was like, that was good. I know, that's it. I walked away going, the only thing I took away from that was I'm going to make that sandwich for breakfast tomorrow.
So bad.
It was awful. The end scene, like that, the last 30
It made me
minutes.
start looking up like when new Marvel movies are coming out so that I can have something to be excited
Well, then,
the last 30 minutes were just unbearable.
You know where DC's killing it, though?
Where?
It's on these little cartoons. They have this one called the DC Supergirls.
Yeah.
And Hazel loves it.
Yeah,
so she loves Batgirl and the female Green Lantern.
Well, they got to kill it somewhere because they're not killing it in the theaters.
Crushing it on that.
Yeah,
I'm
good.
like, and that's where Marvel has nada. Because I want to get her involved. Like, I want her to like Marvel, but she's like...
Yeah, I'm a Marvel girl for sure.
But I'll get her. I'll just let her... If I know she likes the superhero thing, that's fine. We'll get her going.
Yeah, she'll come over to the right side.
You want to know why the DC movies aren't as good as the Marvel movies?
Jimmy's still here? What's up,
Jimmy,
dude?
Talk to me.
Well, I have never seen Talladega Nights.
Yeah, that's my fault. Yeah.
So I couldn't really respond to that. But as far as the DC movies versus Marvel movies, it's the same reason Major League Baseball has taken a nosedive.
I swear to God, if you talk about their outfits,
It's the colors.
oh Lord.
When you
have
watch
mercy.
all the Dark Knight movies, when you watch the Justice League movies, there's no color in the background. It's gray. It's dark.
Aquaman's that way too.
You know, they even made Superman's uniform almost colorless when you look at it. The old bright blue and yellow and red that they used to have. So now it's just a boring gray montage for 2 hours. And it's visually not as stimulating as it should be.
It's always stimulating. Have you seen those guys?
I think she's got something for Momoa. You know, he was in Cedar Rapids.
Oh,
staying
Wolverine
at his,
is my dreamboat.
That's Marvel, though. We're talking
Yeah,
about
That's
DC.
what I know. I'm
Jason
talking about Marvel.
Momoa
I'm
is
saying
not Wolverine.
Jason Momoa he is my dreamboat, but not as Aquaman. That turned me off.
Did you know he was staying in Cedar Rapids during the entire COVID?
He was at
He was?
my house.
Yeah.
He's really skinny in real life. Do you ever see that commercial?
Yeah.
He's
He
not
takes-
very
he takes
bright
off his
either.
arms.
If you've watched interviews with him, it turned me off immediately. He's not a smart man.
Anyway, I
Well,
enjoy.
he does know what love is.
Does he know what love
I
is?
enjoy these movies better than pulling out something that people out there listening haven't seen before, because then they can all relate and remember the scenes and maybe go back and watch it. So the next movie should be something on similar. Doesn't have to be a sports comedy, but something that we've all seen.
Field of Dreams.
Oh man,
No, you can't do it.
I don't want to get into that. Some people, that whole argument that it's not a baseball movie and it's
How
not
is
that
it not
good
a baseball movie?
because there's about
It's a ghost movie.
because there's about
It's not a ghost.
I'm not. I'm just being the argumentative one.
there's about 6 minutes of actual baseball in the whole movie.
Yeah, but it's about a baseball diamond. It's about the love of the game. And James Earl Jones could lull me to sleep every
I think it's about
single time.
I think it's about Darth Vader.
No,
It's not Darth Vader, and Jimmy says that they're playing the thing. Yeah, we'll come up with something to do. Well, guys, we're not going to be on tomorrow. It's Friday.
No.
I'm going to Des Moines.
Yay.
We'll be back. Don't
Friday,
say yay. I'm excited.
I haven't been on all week.
We'll be back on Monday, and
Sorry, Jay.
we'll talk some more.
Just kidding.
I want to thank Jolton Jimmy for being in.
My pleasure.
Yeah, and T-Roy, good to see you. Sorry you didn't have Hazel with you.
God bless her.
She's a,
Bomber,
She
always
is
pleasure.
there.
All right,
she's a strong-willed child.
Love her. It's that red hair, I tell you what. If
We'll,
she had a soul, she'd probably be better behaved.
Mikey says over the top, and
She knows her
I
way around Milwaukee, though.
hey, Mikey gives over the top as a
Over the
a
top
movie.
with
Yeah,
Stallone?
Yeah.
That's not a bad call.
that's a good call. Have you seen Over the Top, Jimmy?
The arm wrestling movie?
Yeah.
I have not.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, is that the one where he breaks the guy's arm and it comes out of the skin?
No,
Oh.
I don't think that happened.
What movie is that?
I
then?
don't know.
What movie did I see when I was like
got
7?
John Claude Van Damme
Oh,
or something.
it probably
All
was.
right, we'll see you guys later. Enjoy yourselves, Quad Cities. Take care.
Watch out for Milwaukee.
This is Randall, the QC hot dog guy. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
Golf season is here. Hidden Hills is open and waiting to take your reservations. This is a